Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our spoiler-free review of the upcoming Disney Plus series, Zootopia Plus. In Zootopia, anyone can be anything. What's up, geeks? My name is Kev, and it's time to hop aboard the Zootopia Express as we make stops in Bunny Burrow, Little Rodentia, and Zootopia Central Station, just to name a few. That's because today we're giving our spoiler-free review for the upcoming Disney Plus series, Zootopia Plus. A huge thanks to Disney Plus Canada for letting us take an early look so we can give you all of our thoughts on this series of shorts based on the hit Disney movie, Zootopia. The series releases today for your viewing pleasure, so be sure to check that out right after you listen to our thoughts. That is if we recommend it, of course. You'll just have to wait and see. If you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geekcentric, a podcast focusing on the world of TV, movies, games, toys, and collectibles, and all things Geekcentric. Of course, I could never tame a wild podcast like this on my own. Joining me on the program are a couple of cool cats who like to podcast. First, he's the geek-centric equivalent of Clawhauser, and that he's soft and cuddly and just loves all things happy and fun. It's Nate. How are you today?
Meow, Kevin. Meow. It's so funny that you're calling me a cat because I'm like trying to think of like what am I going to respond with, and I'm like, let me respond with a little, sassy meow. But then, yeah,
I mean,
dude,
to be fair, I believe we kind of woke you up from a nap, which is very much like a cat. So
that's exactly what happened.
You're fitting the bill.
I was taking a cat nap, and yeah, man, I'm probably going to grab a bite after this and then go to sleep again. I'm excited.
Awesome. So very cat-like. I love it. I'm also joined by our very own Yax. He's into all things, let's call it mellow, man. Plus, he loves doing yoga in the nude. It's Darcy.
Not that last one. No, thank you.
I didn't know that about you, Darcy. I had no idea, man. I had no idea that. Is it the hair like a common thing? Is it all the way down?
No, I don't like how this. I don't like where this is going.
For a family-friendly show, this podcast could get off the rails very quickly. All right, Zootopia Plus heads back to the fast-paced mammal metropolis of Zootopia in a short-form series that dives deeper into the lives of some of the Oscar-winning feature film's most intriguing residents, including Frou Frou, the fashion-forward Arctic shrew, ZPD dispatcher Clawhauser, the sweet-toothed cheetah, and Flash, the smiling sloth who's full of surprises. The series is directed by Josie Trinidad and Trent Corey, and produced by Nathan Curtis. Plus, the human counterparts of all your favorite Zootopia residents return to lend their voices to this animated adventure. All right, gentlemen, before we get started, I wanted to ask, if you were an animal and you lived in the Zoo-United States, yes, that is where Zootopia is set, I want to know, what kind of animal would you be and where would you live? Of course, the Zoo-United States is broken up into 12 regions, which include Zahara Square for desert creatures, Tundra Town for polar creatures, Little Rodentia, which is a small town for rodents and smaller animals. Plus, you've got the Rainforest District, Savannah Central, the Meadowlands, Outback Island, the Burrow, Canal District, Nocturnal District, the Bayou, and Mammal Mountain. Nate, How about yourself?
I think I'm probably going to stick in around Savannah Central. I think I'd be a Clawhauser. I'd try to go with like a big cat. Because that's kind of, as we've established, my MO. But yeah, Savannah Central, I think the Central Plaza, downtown Zootopia. I'm always in for a downtown more than anything else. Even though like I'm not currently living in a downtown, I do love a good downtown, and especially Zootopia. They seem so forward thinking, but specifically because Jambo's Cafe is one of the highlighted, according to the Disney.fandom.com wiki article that I found. Jambo's Cafe is described as an ice cream parlor for heavy mammals. And so, I'm a heavy mammal, and that's probably where I'd find myself hanging out. So I'd have to go with Savannah Central.
That sounds wonderful. I'm going to be hopping on the Zootopia Express and joining you for some mammal-friendly ice cream at some point here. Yeah. Darce, how about yourself? Where would you live in the United States, if you could?
I'm not the big city guy. I like being able to visit a city if I had to, but I mean, my priorities are again more green related. So I'd probably go wherever in the United States where the weeds are legal for animals to consume and stuff like that. I'm thinking more maybe like Vermont, or would it be Vermont maybe in the United States? Yeah,
So
I don't
good.
know.
I like it. So that's probably somewhere in the Meadowlands. That sounds like
Yeah.
it would be very agriculturally focused, if we should say that.
Yes, something like that. And as for animal, I mean, I like dogs. I like to run. I'd like to run if I could go fast, I guess. I mean, yeah, I definitely say a dog. I relate with them most.
Nice.
I've seen you run around helping me out all the time, doing stuff around the house. Even just on Halloween, you were running up and down the driveway, moving this, moving that. So, I think you're set to be my canine counterpart. That's awesome. For myself, I'm avoiding certain places 100%. Like I'm going nowhere near the rainforest district.
No.
Big scary bugs, no way, not a
And
chance.
sweaty. So much sweat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that really moist, just awful heat. No, thank you. No Tundra Town. We already live in Canada. We're used to the snow. I want something completely different. Even though, I'd make a hell of a good polar bear, just size alone. No, I'm actually shifting it up with my animal. I'm going with a gazelle. So on my hind legs, I can still be quite tall, but this time I get to be, lean and thin and very athletic, something I've never quite experienced. So I'm going with a gazelle, and I want to be hanging out in Sahara Square, which has been likened to the French Riviera, Monte Carlo. So we're talking that beautiful Mediterranean weather where it's sunny and the perfect temperature every day, luxurious hotels, fancy shoreside cafes. I'm living the rich life in Zootopia. That would be my dream.
I dig that. You've been hanging out with Shakira, right?
Exactly. I'm a big gazelle fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe she goes by. Yeah. Now, really quickly, before we get into our thoughts on Zootopia Plus, what is your relationship with Zootopia, the movie? I myself loved it. I know it came out the same year as The Secret Life of Pets, and I preferred Zootopia 100 times over Secret Life of Pets myself. So what did you guys think of the movie when it came out back in 2016?
It's so funny how movies... It seems that happens a lot with animated movies. I remember, what was the one, there was Day of the Dead, and then a year later we got Coco, and they were announced at the exact same time, and it was just one of those things where it's I feel like these studios have
Ants and Bug Life.
Yeah, there's some insider knowledge trading going between these studios to be oh, we're gonna beat them to the Bug animated movie this time around. But no, you know what? Zootopia was one of those movies that I didn't have as many sort of feelings going into the movie, and so I was such a delightful surprise to be so enamored with it. And I think the biggest thing for me, and we'll obviously talk about it with these shorts as well, but is just the level of creativity, right? The ideas of Vermont possibly being what it's actually called, or United States, just all these different things. They've got, what are some of the credit cards that they have, Master Claw or something like that, or just different really fun sort of ways that they've taken our world and merged it with the animal kingdom. Is so much fun. Yeah, dude, I've loved Zootopia since it came out, and I haven't actually revisited it for a long time, so it was really nice when watching these shorts to be I think I'm gonna watch Zootopia, so I gotta hop back and watch that again.
Awesome. Darcy, how about yourself?
I love the movie when it came out too. I mean, I recently rewatched it pretty much right when Disney Plus came out. I did a big whole animated movie binge because it'd been so long, and getting to that one was definitely put a smile on my face because it is a standout in my memory of how punny it is. It's the most punny Disney movie, and it still manages to tell a really fun and an intriguing story while being just so tongue-in-cheek humor. So I loved it about it, and these shorts kind of just continue that same mentality, and I loved them for that too.
They really, the shorts really do capture that vibe, and so like Nate said, it was nice to go back to that world and experience that. Now, speaking of this world, when we covered D23 this year, they teased that they'd been contemplating some sort of Zootopia attraction, be it a land, something like that. I was thinking the best possible attraction they could do would be to sort of recreate the Zootopia Express, but do it like they do the Hogwarts Express over at Universal. So you don't actually have to have a huge train going through these worlds. It just, you make it look and feel like you're going through it. I think that could be a lot of fun.
I mean, they could even do that as something that could be used as a travel between Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom at Disney World, right? Like that drive is quite a drive. I'm sure it would be a big investment, but it would be cool. And the amount of entertainment ideas that you could have as like, you could have it where you see little shadows of little people from Rodentia, little shrews running around, like kind of like talking back and forth to each other as they're carrying their luggage or what have you. Like there's so much I love that.
Well, and you have the big windows where as you're going, you drive through Tundraville and you drive through all the rainforest, and it's raining on the top of the car. And then even the windows between one car in the front and one in the back could look like there are the animals sitting up front there.
I love it.
Yeah, you could even have like the little like rodents kind of underneath your seats and stuff like that. Hear the conversations as they're going to their destination, stuff like that. Oh, there's a lot of potential there. I like that idea, Kev.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. I was thinking about that as I was watching the show. Now, speaking of watching the show, that's why we're here, to give our thoughts. I think, because the first season of the series only runs for about 40 minutes over 6 episodes, and we're keeping it spoiler-free, let's not be sloths. Instead, let's be really quick, share our thoughts on the shorts. We're going to talk about what worked, maybe things that didn't, and then we'll get into our overall thoughts and scores. Who wants to start us off with what worked and what they thought of the show?
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to call out the intro for the. We'll start with that. Like, I thought the intro was really fun, really pop art. It reminded me a lot of Monsters Inc. That sort of Art Deco, and of course the music behind it. Shout out, by the way, to obviously. We always call him the GOAT, and that's kind of fitting for Zootopia. But the GOAT, Michael Giacchino, produced the score for Zootopia Plus, but it was actually composed by his son, Mick Giacchino, which I was like, that's super cool. And I saw that in the credits, and alongside Curtis Green. I thought the music for the series is great as well. Very like sort of just jazzy and poppy and
jazzy, fun, fits, and you get a different song for every end credit as well, which I appreciated. That really fit the tone of the episode.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was one part that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it goes hand in hand, too, with how fast these shorts go. The music just kind of fits perfectly with the pacing of the stories they're telling. And again, just revisiting all these characters was something that I think we all wanted because they were such little parts in the actual movie. And now we're getting at least a 7-minute exploration of their character. I thought that was really, really well done. And I really enjoyed, again, coming back to these characters and seeing where they're at in their lives now.
Well, and I love that you touched upon that, like they were small parts of the bigger Zootopia that does follow, Judy and Nick. But I thought that the way that some of these stories, not all of them, but some of these stories are structured to fit perfectly within Zootopia Plus, gave me a lot of like Lion King 1.5 vibes, and I loved it. I'm like, you know what, this is such a better implementation of that idea than Lion King 1.5. Like, I think, like, as I enjoyed that movie a lot, but I think this is such a great way to do it, and I would love more series like this that do focus on those additional characters that give them sort of their own stories. And yeah, this was really cool, to the point where like there's certain episodes here that you could slot in as you're watching Zootopia Plus and they would just fit perfectly fine.
Yeah, they absolutely would. I mean, even the very first episode, as it starts, I'm like, wait a minute, this feels very familiar. Have we not seen exactly what's happening now? Why is this happening when there's only 7 minutes in this episode? But it quickly shifted into the actual focus of the little episode, and you go, oh, that's so cool. And yeah, it's really clever. I mean, I think this format, Nate, now that you mention it, would have worked better for something like Monsters at Work. Instead of fuller, bigger episodes, if you could have fit it into the different movies and everything like that, I think, and just expanded for quick little snippets on those characters that we're familiar with, I think that might have worked better than the longer, runtime episodes where it's just they fell a little flat pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the animation is absolutely fantastic with these. I have to go back and rewatch the first one. I I think it's gotten better, but also I don't remember the first one not being that great either. Like or the movie not being that great either. Like the fur is the texture on these animals. I also love like the way that it's quote unquote shot. I mean, again, like the fact that we saw this with Pixar with Lightyear, where they were using like what felt like actual camera lenses as they were shooting. And I don't know if it's exactly the same techniques that they took there, but there's certain moments where, because they're sort of playing off the idea for at least 2 of these episodes, for reality TV shows, the way the camera moves is different in that it mirrors sort of, the sort of shaky cam of a reality TV show. And when they do the zoom ins and they zoom into a character's face to kind of look at the camera, especially with, I think it's the Real Housewives of Rodentia, which is just phenomenal. It is really cool to see kind of how much more realistic the world looks, because they have that bokeh effect on their background. So shout out to the animators for this one, because again, they're even for a short, like, that's not a small feat. So it was really, really good.
Well, and speaking of the way it looks, I mean, the original movie and the series, it is just really pleasant to look at.
Yes.
Everything is just so nicely done. It doesn't try to do anything funky or too crazy. It focuses on beauty, and the world they've created is just so flushed out and developed. And you could honestly go and watch just even these shorts a few times over and catch tiny little details that you'd easily miss the first time. The number of little business puns and everything like that. And then even just the architecture, which reflects all these different places from around the world. It's all just so nice to look at that, again, you could return to watch these shorts in the movie over and over and catch something new every time.
Yeah, that literally, dude. Like, I love when like, for instance, when the train stops and you hear the ding, 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 but that it's lined up with the 3 sizes of doors for different animals coming out, with the smallest one being like little hamsters running out and stuff. Like, it's so, again, they're so thoughtful. I think, and that's one of the biggest aspects to it. It's not just, hey, can we get a phenomenal celebrity cast to talk and make these animals do silly things. It's the fact that they've fleshed out the world and they think about every single little detail, little aspect. But yeah, dude, the cast is absolutely fantastic. I'm stoked that we're gone are the days of the TV version of no shade to all the wonderful people that provided their voices for some of the TV versions of like Aladdin or whatever, but the fact that we Disney has the budget and has the ability to bring in the original voice actors for these characters, even just for these shorts, is awesome. And you can tell that they just had so much fun with bringing them in, probably for an afternoon to record all this. And it's just, I was blown away to hear Idris Elba, for instance, back in as Chief Bogo for this for episode 5. It was so good.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure, how many voices we'd get. I didn't look on, say, IMDb or anything before the show. I just sort of went into it not knowing. And I was like, oh, okay, they did bring her back, or oh, they did bring him back. But no, there's no way that, oh, wow, he came back to do this. It was really, really shocking. But I mean, this day and age, a lot of these guys could probably just send in a voicemail with their 1 or 2 lines and they could make it work, right? You don't even need to go into a studio these days. So, but no, it does just lend to the authenticity of a show like this. It really helps make it part of the canon, make it part of the world, and make it a worthy sort of successor to the movie. It's not just a cheap knockoff for a few views. No, it's a proper production with all the same levels of talent in every department, from the creation of the animation right through to the voice acting that we'd expect from the movie. And that's amazing. I really, really appreciated that.
And I will say, I got to episode 4, and I was like, oh, okay, this is my favorite episode. It kind of dives into the history of Zootopia, which I think is super cool.
It's such a great episode.
I could watch a whole movie on that one. But then we got to episode 5, and I was like, wait, maybe this is my favorite. And it was just so much fun to sort of like see this series progress so quickly. Honestly, you could spread this out and watch it, but honestly, just watch it just binge the whole thing. Enjoy it as a nice little afternoon, little evening with the family. Because yeah, dude, this is really good.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, each episode it was like, oh, I love that. Oh no, I love this.
Yeah.
Each episode is so different, which I loved.
Yes.
I thought, you could easily have just gone, well, here's 5 minutes with this character, and then do the exact same sort of style story with a new character, and just rinse and repeat for the 6 episodes. But every single episode is like a different type of movie, a different type of TV show that perfectly reflects the character that they're focusing on, which makes it a lot of fun. And I think it really opens up just endless possibilities that they could keep going with a series like this. You could return to some characters we see in this episode, but there's plenty that were in the movie that we haven't seen yet. So I think the possibilities here are kind of endless. Was there anything that didn't work for you guys here? I'm going to probably be pretty mum on this one. I don't have much to say negatively.
Yeah, same here. I mean, and again, shorts, you can't really expect much from them. And coming into this, not really knowing what to expect, the fact that they delivered on so many fronts and made me smile by the end of every episode, and I was looking forward to the next one, they hit it out of the park, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, just on that note, like I think the short game in certain fields here for Disney Plus are just on fire.
They're killing it.
The Groot series was amazing. The Cars series, I've heard only good things about. I still haven't checked it out because I haven't seen the movies. I know. But when I look at something like the Simpsons shorts that they've done a few times where it's playing with Star Wars, playing with Marvel, I think they've dropped the ball there. I don't think they've really done enough to flush those out. Those could be 6-episode series, and they'd really have a lot of fun with it, but they're too short and they don't do enough. These little runs give just enough to pay homage, to show some fresh ideas, to have some fun. They don't overstay their welcome, but they're worth watching because they are able to tell enough of a story. They've just kind of found this perfect blend, and they could go back and honestly visit so many of their properties in this format. And if they're this fun, I'd watch them all easily. I think it's just a brilliant way to avoid risking a sequel movie. You don't need to go through all that. This is a perfect way to revisit a world without doing too much. All right, well, at this point, I know, Nate, at the top of the program you said you were hungry, and at this point, I'm getting a little peckish myself. I think we should go head over to the Big Donut, grab ourselves a little snack. But before we do that, let's give our final thoughts and scores for the series. Today, we'll be doing that on a scale of 1 to 5 hit songs by Gazelle. Darcy, why don't you lead us off?
Sure thing. Again, I've talked about how much I like this episode, and I've talked before about how I think Disney's really nailing it on the short game with these explorations of characters that we don't get enough of in the movie. The cast coming back was a great surprise. The stories they told were all engaging and again, made me want more. I'm looking forward to a potential second season of this, following new characters, or like Kevin said, maybe even coming back to some of the ones we saw in this story. So everything about this I thought was super well done. So it's an easy 5 out of 5 hit songs by Gazelle from me, because again, I was so thoroughly pleased by the end of it with the biggest smile on my face, and I can't wait for more.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel
awesome.
that.
How about yourself, Nate?
Yeah. I mean, Disney Plus is the new home of great short content. Like, absolutely. I adored these 6 little stories, and I was laughing and smiling the entire time. It's such a lovely addition to the original movie, and it's done in a way that adds a bit of plus to a movie that I really, 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 honestly, I do hope gets a sequel. I do think that this team could actually pull it off and could give us something original just based on these little short stories. I think it's a testament to how great this series and the movie is, that my only real complaint is that I want more. I think the cast, as we said, is fantastic. The stories work so well to just give us expand the original story even just a little bit, but it still brings in a lot of that modern comedy, and it plays off some fresh ideas that you'd expect from the Zootopia universe. The score by Mick Giacchino and Curtis Green, again, as we said, fits every moment perfectly. And I honestly, I love that we get to watch these early, but I can't wait to watch them again in glorious 4K on the big screen and just kind of take in, as you said, Kevin, check out all those little details for all the funny jokes in the background, because the animation is top level Disney. I'm going to give Zootopia Plus a very good but short 5 out of 5 hit songs by Gazelle.
Amazing. Oh, how am I going to top my delivery of my score? I'm not even going to try. I'll keep it short and sweet, just like the show itself. I know I said on the program that, this almost can fill in instead of a sequel, but I think if this series showed anything, it's that Zootopia does deserve a sequel. It's probably my favorite. It's definitely, I'm putting it out there, it's 100% my favorite animated movie by Disney since it came out in 2016. Pixar and otherwise included there. I just fell in love with this movie right away. I actually watched it twice the first day I watched it. Anyways, I won't go on about that anymore because we're talking about the show. This show was just so fun to 6 years later get to revisit this world, which I love, which I think you could honestly explore so much of, because we really only have, outside of the movie where we spent a few minutes here and a few minutes there, we've really only been in that downtown core, and so you could branch off and show adventures in these different worlds. And again, it's just the possibilities for this franchise, this property are endless, and so I can't wait to see more. I really hope people check this out. Disney sees the numbers, and they not only produce more of the show, but another movie. We want Zootopia Land. I want it all. I'm greedy. You think you're greedy wanting longer episodes, Nate? I want so much more than that. I'm the greedy one today, which is rare. No, and of course, it's simple little shorts that are lovely. It's easy to say, well, does it really? No, it deserves a 5 out of 5 because it does exactly what you'd want this show to do. Yeah. Absolutely perfectly. It's so much fun. And like you guys, I can't wait to see more. Well, 5 out of 5, hit songs by Gazelle. And there you have it, our spoiler-free review for Zootopia Plus. The show pulls into the Disney Plus station today or right now. If you're listening to this podcast, it is out. Go check it out when I wrap up here. Thanks again to Disney Plus Canada for giving us an early look. And a huge thanks to you for tuning in wherever you listen to podcasts. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. And you better give us 5 stars. Because as Bellwether said, fear always works. We'd love to know, are you excited to rejoin all your favorite critters from the many regions of the United States? You can let us know at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com, or if that's just for dumb bunnies and you're a shifty, untrustworthy fox, you can hit us up on Twitter at GeekcentricYT and on Instagram at wearegeekcentric. It's called hustle, sweetheart. As always, we have plenty of awesome content to check out. Specifically, this week, we're celebrating Black Panther Wakanda Forever with our spoiler-free review, which is available now. Plus, we have interviews with Mabel Cadena and Alex Livinali, who play Namora and Atuma in the film. As with all of our interviews, you can listen to those right here where you listen to podcasts or watch them on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/geekcentric. Hell, speaking of interviews, we've got interviews with some of the cast from the awesome show that we just talked about, so stay tuned for those. Plus, there's a ton of interviews from the last year with the stars and creators of a ton of shows that we've loved. They're definitely worth checking out as well. In addition, our spoiler-filled breakdown and review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be coming later this week, but in the meantime, we have spoiler-free reviews for Blockbuster, Tales of the Jedi, Wendell and Wild, and so much more. Oh, and in addition, our Watch Club for Disney Plus's Andor is well underway and almost as good as the incredible show itself. Guys, in other words, we're super, super busy, so stay tuned. Check out all our stuff. There's something for everyone, and we can't wait till we see you again. Thanks for joining, and as we say,
love ya.
Laters.
Get home safe, guys.